Truman Talks Law on Great Day Live is sponsored by the Karl Truman Law Office.
Everybody loves a good top 10 list, but the 10 worst insurance companies in America, well, that's nothing to laugh about.
The American Association for Justice has published a list of insurers. It says raise premiums, deny claims, and refuse insurance to those who need it most. And attorney Karl Truman says they'll do anything to avoid paying claims, being greedy.
It's, yeah, of course, I'm not going to talk about naming names, but they'll have to get a copy of the report to find out who's on the list. But I can say that you're not in good hands and they're not your good neighbor.
Oh.
That was subtle.
The drill is, though, over and over again, they teach their agents, deny, deny, deny. Isn't that the key word?
There are some companies that are actually talked about in this report where they actually give claims adjusters prizes for who denies the most claims, and pizza parties for claims adjusters that meet their goals on not paying claims and who pays the least claims. So it's actually, it really surprised me. A lot of times clients will call me up and they'll say, well, won't the insurance company just be fair with me? Why do I need a lawyer? I mean, won't they just pay my claim and pay my bills? Well, I wish it were that simple, but unfortunately it's not.
Which is frustrating because you pay into insurance for a reason. If you need it, you want to be able to collect it. So it's very hard when you do need that money and you're not able to get it.
Well, in my opinion, once you make a claim, even if it's your own insurance company, you're no longer the good customer paying claims. Now you're their adversary because you're asking them to pay something. So, it does get very frustrating, especially when you look at how much money they bring in. If you think about everybody talks about the recession. If you look at the numbers, the recession has not hit the insurance industry.
You're talking trillions of dollars.
Trillions of dollars, yeah.
Assets.
Yeah, over $1 trillion brought in premiums every year. The assets by the insurance industry actually has more assets than the gross domestic product of most countries in the world.
Does it make sense when the insurance company sends you a denial and then you challenge it on your own? That's your first job, to get back in touch with them, and then you get a second denial. At that point, is that when you recommend calling someone to see if you can get some help shoving that sled?
Well, it kind of depends on what it is. I mean, if it's a roof claim or property damage claim or bodily injury claims, those could be handled very differently. But certainly if it's a bodily injury claim, I would always want to have some professional advice, and at least call or do some homework to try to find out, because a lot of times clients will call me up, months or years later and say, well, I tried doing it on my own, but I couldn't get it done, and so now I want to hire an attorney, now I want to talk to an attorney. And if they had done things differently up front, it would have made my job much easier.
Last Saturday night, we had a heck of a storm, hail. And a guy climbs on your roof and says, you don't have hail damage. Because I guess maybe some representatives of an insurance company pays him to say that. I mean, you never know that, but how do you know in a case like that? Most people can't get on a roof and make that determination on their own.
Well, and believe it or not, one of the things in the reports talks about one particular insurance company that actually forged signatures on property damage claims to waive coverage on certain claims. So, yeah, you've got to read the paperwork and make sure that you become an educated consumer, which is one of the things that I've always promoted as an attorney. My goal is to try to educate the consumer, because I think a better educated person, a better educated consumer can, take care of themselves better and, make my job easier if we've done it all right from the very beginning.
That's right. Thank you so much, Karl.
Great.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, to get a copy of this list we're talking about, you can reach Karl Truman's law office at 502-222-2222.
And you can also find him online at trumanlaw.com.